Okay. Oh, so are we good still, or did it freeze a little? Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just starting my recording side, so just take a second, get rid of that.
Go.
Okay. So I should be okay now. We should have a recording of that. So, all right, I'll turn it over to you guys if you want to just go ahead and tell us your ministry or whatever like you'd like to do.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was a little bit curious, like our connection, because I know you messaged us on Facebook. I'd love to just real quickly hear about that. Like you meet with like different people from the booklet or something. How did?
Yeah, so we at Bethel we've started doing like a monthly support. So we pick a missionary family of the month, and typically, yeah, from the prayer book that gets put out. And so I noticed you guys and young family, and really interested in the work you do. I grew up on a farm myself, and so I'm really interested to hear. So I was quite intrigued by what you do there with the combination of spiritual and practical ministry. So yeah, so we do a monthly support, and what we want to do is pray for you guys like intelligently. So to get together like this, so we can hear what you do and what your needs are, like any prayer
Mhm.
requests that you have, and then we'll, with your permission, we'll post what you say is okay on our bulletin board, and we'll pray for those things at our weekly prayer meeting, and support you in that way, and like financially, practically, and spiritually. Prayerfully.
Thank you.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Wow,
Yeah.
it's encouraging. It's nice.
Yeah.
Gather, even though we're far apart, we can just be on Zoom.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just yeah, I guess I can just share a little bit about our ministry. So when we got here close to 5 years now, 5 years ago, we partnered with a Christian agriculture ministry that was all about stewardship. And we did a lot of learning. My passion was in agriculture, faith-based agriculture, and I always wanted to have a balance between the physical and the spiritual, so that we can both be saving, physically and spiritually. So we want people to have lots of food in their belly, that we want them to have healthy lives physically, but we also want them to have healthy lives spiritually. That's very important to me. And so my goal has always been not just to go somewhere and do agriculture as a sort of platform, or as an excuse to be there, but professional. I want to be on the cutting edge of what we're teaching in both senses, right? But specifically in agriculture. And so that's kind of what has been the driving force behind our vision. We have always had a calling for unreached people groups, Islamic unreached people groups, and so we spent 3 years on a training and ministry outreach team on a closed Muslim country. And that was really incredible. We saw some people come to the Lord, and I also practiced agriculture. Our daughter that was born in Joburg, she had a severe medical condition during that time when she was very young. And so Leanne is a nurse, by the way. I'm an agriculturalist. I would call myself an agronomist, but I'm more of an autodidact, if that makes sense. So I'm self-taught more or less, which is actually a very important thing to understand, because the type of agriculture that I practice is very, very specific to the environment that we find ourselves in here, with smallholder subsistence type of farming. And so our daughter got sick. We ended up flying out. That really impacted us. So we ended up going back to I became a paramedic in Canada. So I'm a certified paramedic in Canada. I worked in that for a little while until we ended up back in Africa. And it's a bit of a long story, but God led us to Malawi. And it turns out that there's an unreached people group here called the Yao. And so our ministry focuses on the Yao, unreached people group here in Malawi. And we do what we call our ministry. So, okay, I backtrack a little bit. We worked for this Christian agricultural organization for about 2 years. I still help them a little bit, but then we branched out. And we actually left our previous organization because they don't work in Malawi, because we didn't know how long we would be here, but then we felt like God was calling us here long term. So then we ended up with MSC. That's how we ended up with MSC through Arundel Bible Chapel, obviously. So they helped us, they recommended and they helped us transfer over to that one. And now Arundel kind of oversees our ministry here. And so we basically developed our own kind of ministry because of what we're doing is quite different. So we're not in conservation agriculture, we're in regenerative agriculture, specifically what we call GMCCs, green manure cover crops. It's all about soil recovery, soil regeneration. And so we call our ministry Greenline Ministries. We have a 10-acre training and ministry and research site within the Yao Unreached People Group area, which the chiefs and a bunch of other people were willing to sell us at a really good rate because the land was totally desolate. We called it, it's like desertified land. It's just useless land. Nobody could really grow anything on it. So they were happy, to give it to us. Now we're actually, this is our 3rd year of working the land, and we're able to grow crops, maize, corn crops, with no fertilizer, no inputs whatsoever. And so it's really a testimony to the whole community of how not only our bodies can be restored, but our soils can be restored. And so we're doing a number of different things. We have this ministry center. It's a 10-acre. We train different organizations, Christian organizations, really anybody that wants support or help to understand this type of regenerative agriculture. But then we have 3 different projects that we're working in now. So we have a bucket drip irrigation project. That's with about how many families? That's with about 20 families altogether, and that's basically they're able to grow food all year round because they have bucket drip irrigation. So they pour water in a bucket, and then they have drip tape where the water goes through. So we set them up near water locations like boreholes, like wells, and we go around and train. So each of our projects, if you want to call them projects, are infused with, like, when we go around training usually about once a month, and we'll train in a practical, relevant agricultural topic for that time period. And then we'll also talk about stewardship of the land, God's creation, the Garden of Eden, and all sorts of different topics as they kind of come up. So a lot of it, we don't necessarily follow a hard curriculum yet. We're hoping to put something together that's kind of that tracks the biblical sort of redemption narrative from the Garden of Eden all the way up to Jesus, because that's very relevant to Islam, right? With the prophets and all this kind of stuff, but then also having that theme of agriculture running through it. That's our goal. But right now it's very much sort of freestyle. It's like, okay, what are the people feeling? What are the people thinking? And we're trying to meet them there. We're trying to meet them where they're at and helping them understand these things from a biblical perspective rather than from an animistic perspective, because everybody here, they're Islam on the surface, but underneath it's African traditional religion. So we're helping them look through it we're trying to focus their gaze on the biblical lens, right? Like, what does this mean and how does this look and what are the results of this?
It's because there's so much superstition too and witchcraft going on, and yeah, it's
Right.
Yeah,
the gospel message is always interwoven in there when he's training.
that's right. And just basic principles of hard work and
Yeah.
these type of things that we find in the word, right? So that's one project. That's a small project, and that runs through the dry season. And then we have another project where we're working with just ordinary farmers. We started out with village groups, and now we just went to individual farmers that really started to show initiative and really started to show interest in this stuff. So we have farmers now that are also growing completely organically, and they're able to feed their families, which is really cool because it's almost unheard of, to be quite honest.
And a bag of fertilizer is like a month's wage, so they can't get it.
Wow.
So it's very
Hard.
expensive, and then they can't grow enough, and it's very sad. So when their crop yields are quite a bit higher when they're intercropping the nitrogen fixing plant. So it's affordable, and then they have a specific intercropping that he's teaching them.
And I can explain more of the agriculture component if you guys are interested. But anyway, the same thing applies in this project where we go around each month, even earlier. So we have a team of about 5 people, and I have one full-time guy. He's a bit older, and actually every day he's out with our farmers, moving around, helping them, mentoring them, teaching them. So it's not just a monthly thing, but when I join, then it's more of that monthly thing. We're moving around, intentionally doing training. But he's always on the mentorship and stuff like that because it's a whole ministry. I can't do everything, right? So we have different team members doing various things. And then I'm more on the administrative side a lot of the time too, managing, organizing, that kind of thing, coordinating. So we have that project that's been going for 3 years, and it's very, very encouraging. We already have farmers that are teaching other farmers because, of course, we can't. Our goal isn't just to be teaching every single person in Malawi. Like, it has to be led. It has to be relevant, and we believe it's relevant because we're seeing it spread. And so we have a whole methodology, by the way, about how we choose people, how we work with people, and that kind of thing. But
yeah, and I think because the problem in the past is like people will teach something, but it's not adopted because it doesn't. So he spent a lot of time like, they're not going to risk their whole crop to do a different method that somebody random
there's a lot of
something
risk.
that
They're
they
very
can add
risk
in there.
averse.
Yeah, and then he's seeing people are using it because it's not high risk. It meets the real needs. He spent a lot of time trying to figure out what would actually help the farmer here. So, and then I think a lot of conversations and a lot of time with farmers and
a lot of trust building and working with people. So the second project. The third project is schools. We just started working with schools last year. So we work with 3 schools, 3,000 students, and each student has an average of like 5 people in the family. So that's how many, what's math? I barely passed math in high school, so I always had my hands dirty in the dirt, you know what I mean, outside. So anyway, I'm just trying to show you the impact of that, right? Because these kids, one of our like, there's a lot of problems here that are sort of generational. And so it's very difficult working with the older generation. And so we've really put more energy now into working with the younger generation because they absorb these things so much quicker. And we want to plant those seeds when they're young and just be watering them. And hopefully, that's going to have an effect in the future. And we know it will. And so we have demo gardens. We have bucket drip irrigation demo gardens and a rain-fed demo garden with green manure cover crops in these 3 schools. And so David, the main guy out in the villages, he's
the Malawian guy.
The Malawian guy.
Right hand.
He's out with these schools constantly. And so there's different students that are managing at different times the gardens, and then we have different meetings with the teachers and stuff like that. So what's cool about that is like these kids get no agriculture training whatsoever. They just learn from their family or from whatever, right? They might learn basic principles, but oftentimes it's not it's not something that will really help to put food on the table. And so we're teaching them a new method, how to have healthy soils, how to steward our land properly, and all these kinds of things. And again, we bring up the spiritual component in all of these things. It's very real to them, and so it's very exciting. And so that keeps us extremely busy. Yeah, we've got those 3 projects, and then of course we have the Green Line Acres that we're slowly developing and different things. And so we have a whole vision for that. We want to have interns come in. We want to have new missionaries come and join us, new families to help run it, to help develop the whole thing. But we want to keep it very, very relevant because there's a lot of other training centers out there. And so we don't want to put a ton of money into something that's not going to be, that's just going to be another one, if that makes sense. We want it to be transformable. We want investment to,
Work
we want to be,
job.
yeah, we want to work ourselves out of a job, really. And so we want to invest in the right things. And so, one of the visions that we have in the coming years is to even have a missionary agriculture training program, because there's such a need for that. Like, even if you look online, you might find a couple, but a lot of them are in conservation agriculture. And I won't even get into that debate, but what we're doing is quite unique in that we're restoring soil fertility, and we're doing it very quickly. Which conservation agriculture struggles to do, and that's where most of the Christian agriculture focus is still.
And I think because most people in Africa are like, most people are farmers. Like, even if they've gotten another job, they're still farming. So if you, as missionaries in general, would need some kind of background training in agriculture, if they're in the villages and encounter it, even if they're doing other things, it's helpful to have background for that. So
yeah, and then there's
for missionaries.
Yeah, and then just to share a few other things that we've done in the past year, we had a church come out, a mission team come out, a whole bunch of young people came out, and we did a whole ministry. We did all sorts of things with kids, and then we had a clinic because Leanna's a nurse, so we did a clinic there, and we actually treated some kids that were sick with malaria. We potentially saved a number of lives during that time. Yes. And yeah, a lot of Bible studies with the kids. That was really cool. They came out for how many days? 10 days, I think, total. So that was huge. And then we have another volunteer here from Canada who's actually helping us with homeschool. And so we asked her to put together or to run a woman's biblical nutrition class. So I think she did that for 8 weeks, and I helped her with the curriculum. So we put a whole curriculum together, and it was all about like mothers and infants and
using plants
how to eat healthy, and then having the whole Bible study involved in each class. So I think that was an 8-week class. So we do different small things like that as well, as the Lord provides the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So our vision, I guess.
Or do they have any questions?
Well, let me just quickly share our vision and mission, if that's okay. So our vision is living soil, living hope, to see lives, land, and communities restored through the power of the gospel and the principles of God's kingdom. That's our vision. So living soil, living hope. And that comes from Isaiah 35. The wilderness and the dry land shall be glad, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom like the crocus. For waters break forth in the wilderness and streams in the desert. And then, of course, living hope from 1 Peter 1. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy, he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. So we're taking those two components, and we're trying to keep them as closely related as possible in our ministry, and to do the best, to be the best at both of those things. So our mission is to disciple, equip, and empower rural families and leaders with biblical truth and practical tools that restore wholeness spiritually, physically, and communally.
Excellent. That's great. It's wonderful to hear that. And you have the right name for what you're doing, right? Deborah is the farmer. So you are the farmer there.
That's right. That's right. A lot of people think I'm Afrikaans, but
His grandparents were from the Netherlands, so
Yes.
my grandparents all came after World War I and II from the Netherlands. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. So have you had to do any language training, or you can operate in English fairly well there?
We do have a little. We have a little bit of training, but it's been mostly broken English that we're using here.
well, because the thing is, when we were on the islands, previously we learned the language because there was no English there. So, and it's a Bantu. And then when we came here, it was British, so there's a lot of English. And then it can cripple you because you're trying to practice, and then people will switch English. But in the village, it's all Chichewa. So I think we use some of our previous because it's the same Bantu, so you can get around.
Yeah.
But I think to get really fluent, it takes a lot of
It
years.
takes a long time, and we just
Okay.
wanted to get right into it. And
Yeah.
the Lord really blessed us with a really amazing team. So the guy that I work with, he has experience in the exact same thing that I'm doing. We just brought some unique, upgrades, you could say. But very relevant, very practical, and he's able, like, after working with him just for a very short period of time, he's able to kind of carry the baton, so to speak, in individual and as he's moving around. So it's been really helpful in that way. So a lot of the work, the official work, is translated.
Good.
Yeah.
What's you mentioned that the original land that you got was it was given to you because it was just basically unarable land, like desert kind of land. And what was the chief's the people's reaction when you started to actually grow things, grow maize on it? Was it?
Yeah, I think they were all kind of watching,
Communities watching.
They're all kind of watching, and now they call me the big farmer. They call us the big farmers. But I think that they're all really amazed, and it's really cool because a lot of the people, it's spreading even just around our farm there, Green Line Acres.
So it gives people hope that their land's not just desolate. They can do the same thing.
Yeah.
And we have a watering station because he has a borehole, so people will come with their buckets.
All the communities come. We dug a borehole for the community and
because they were using river water a lot. So then now they come fill their buckets, so it's nice too.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a hub, and they have community meetings sometimes under their shelter. And yeah,
It's really a very fascinating ministry. And I was thinking of in the Bible, like in the Old Testament, I think Baal was a god of agriculture and fertility, all that kind of stuff. And so, like you say, you're teaching things in the biblical context of the Lord as creator. And of course, Elijah dealt with that very forcefully on Mount Carmel, proving who was the real God. But that's very fascinating.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's very exciting to see people spiritually healthy, but also having more food, and having healthy soils and just seeing how like when we came, there was nothing on this land. There was like a tree, maybe 2 or 3 trees, whatever.
Small ones.
But it was completely deforested, and the land was just totally desolate, complete erosion. All the topsoil was gone. And now we have trees 50 feet tall and stuff. So
like
it's
the blue gums, they grow really fast here. We have thousands of trees on it, and then there's like little creatures, and there's tons of birds, and it's quite green. And
we have mongoose coming in.
And
we have owls coming in. We have tons of different type of birds coming in. All sorts of creatures. It's really amazing to see the ecosystem be restored, right? Yeah. Even hyenas. We have hyenas.
Okay.
And pythons and all sorts of snakes. It's cool.
Yeah, there was we were making the girls' bed, and because
just the other day.
Yeah, we were, and then there was a scorpion in it, and I was like, I screamed, and then he came running and he killed it. So
yeah,
we get all the good and the bad too. The classic Africa.
Just out of
So, yeah,
interest, what green manure crops do you use there?
Yeah, so we use locally relevant ones. So when I first came, I did a lot of research on that. Like what seed is available, what's locally available, what do people already like, what are the markets like? People need to be able to sell it, right? People need to like it and sell it and have access to it. And then of course, you know, the geological factors as well, right? Like what's the rainfall like, what's the elevation like, all those type of things, what's the soil like. And so we narrowed it down to about 5 top green manure cover crops. So we actually incorporate trees. So we use Leucaena, what's called Leucaena, and Gliricidia. Those are our top 2 green manure trees.
for nitrogen fixers.
But they're also, they produce a lot of biomass that goes back into the soil. So we're actually building topsoil pretty quickly as well. And then we have pigeon pea, lab.
They eat those, yeah.
Yeah, and another one called jack bean.
Okay.
Those are our top 5.
Okay. Excellent.
And then there's some other small ones for unique things like irrigation. If you have an irrigation thing or something, there's different unique things that you can use.
Okay.
And that's all intercropping, by the way. It's not crop rotation. We don't teach crop rotation. People can if they want. But the issue here is the landholding size is so small. People here are on well under an acre per family, right? And so they need to grow subsistence. They're subsistence farmers. They need to grow their food crop, their staple crop on almost all their land.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's all about intercropping without, you know, decreasing their staple crop plant population. And so it's pretty cool that we can do that. Yeah.
I'm not a farmer, I'm a city guy, transplanted into the north, but what exactly do you mean by intercropping?
Okay, it just means that, like, so in Canada, you've got your corn in the summer, right? At a certain length or at a certain distance apart. We would plant like some sort of bean and tree crop in between those rows or in the row with the corn in the same spacing.
So then it helps the soil because corn takes a lot from the soil, right? And then they can eat the peas if they have like pigeon pea in there. And so it's like they're not risking their crop, but it's in between. So it's not just taking, it's giving back. So, and then it's not too expensive either because you just need seeds to do that. So, yeah.
So in the schools, like you were saying, you have this training, of course, of the younger age, the school age, and these gardens. But you also have these Bible studies that relate right into the things that you're teaching. So there's a receptivity to that, you were saying.
Yeah, definitely. Like people are definitely open to hearing these things. They know we're Christian, and so, you know, there's certain things that we have to be a little bit careful of, and you know, that's context specific. But in general, we're able to share these things without any sort of repercussions, or you know, and it's like not just like it's regional specific as well, right? Like because we have also like. We have a fair amount of like Arab Muslims and stuff like that, Middle Eastern Muslims that are coming in and influencing stuff. So we have to be careful if we're near that area. Thankfully in our area, we don't have any of those type of folks. And so we're pretty free, and the local population is quite more open, you know, because they're quite syncretistic as well, right?
Right.
They kind of slap everything, yeah. But also I think they're a little desperate, like because they pretty much like they were chopping down all the trees for charcoal, and all the trees are just gone on all the surrounding mountains, the whole area. So it's become pretty rough because then they're not getting as much rain just on a micro level there. And then people starve in the hunger season. They starve to death. Like they have no food. So they're desperate too. So they're willing. So it's really tough while they're waiting for the next crop. And there we had a few rough years, like we had a drought year where
a couple drought years.
Yeah, they got some rain and then it didn't rain for 7 weeks last year. So then all the crops died. So people were just suffering. And then one year there was a cyclone that came in from the coast, like over Mozambique, and it just That was the previous 2 years before that, and it flattened everyone's crops. So they've just had several years back to back where they weren't getting, there was just a lot of rough stuff that was crazy. This year is like, since we've been here for 5 years, this is the best year we've seen in crops. Like as far as the rain has been better this year. And so hopefully it continues, and yeah, it seems, so that will be nice if people get enough to, because they'll run out of maize and then, yeah.
Do you have any refugees from Mozambique in your area?
We do, but they're in the south. They're a lot more in the south, concentrated into the south specific. There is a camp down there with what the UN has a camp down there.
Okay.
So
Couple hours.
quite far.
That was the whole thing. A lot of
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of issues, and Mozambique, we get various reports from missionaries there that things are tough, and then of course recently with all the rain down there, they've had more than they need down in that area. So a lot of flooding and.
Yeah, it feels like one thing after another. There's always something crazy happening now.
Yeah, and what's the political stability like in Malawi now? Is it still fairly good?
Yeah, it's fairly good. The previous president, the people didn't like him very much. He had no experience. He was kind of a pastor, and he talked a lot, and he sounded really
very
beautiful and sounded really amazing, but he turned out to be one of the worst, probably. Like everything fell apart. The forex market, the fuel. We had fuel lines his whole pregnancy, his whole presidency.
For a whole year, we couldn't barely get like gasoline. It was like,
it was so bad.
It was like,
but the people here were pretty patient, and they waited till the election. So now there's a new guy in.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of protesting. Like people will get really upset and can't go in that area. They'll throw rocks.
It was pretty volatile for the last year of his presidency, but
now in September they voted in the previous president from before that, because
Okay.
yeah.
It's a little
So
bit
it seems
like
okay now.
Yeah, I've got an age issue here. I was going to ask a question and it escaped me now. But, is there any intertribal issues in Malawi?
No.
Like some of the other countries, like Rwanda and so on?
No, definitely not.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, that's a blessing. Yeah, they all know their tribe and they're very distinct. And but there's no animosity or anything. There's no trouble, no issues.
Yeah, they've never seen war in Malawi, so it's pretty peaceful.
Pretty peaceful country. Yeah.
Besides just like that, some angst around politics and stuff. Yeah.
Crime is increasing just with the poverty getting worse and stuff like that. That's one of our concerns. It's getting a little violent. So with crime, but yeah, that's really our main concern, I guess.
Within the school system, within the school system, how much biblical input is allowed in the school system?
Do you mean like in terms of what we do with them?
Yeah. Is there resistance at all, or within the school system, is there some inbuilt kind of Bible teaching or? Yeah,
to be honest, I'm not super familiar with the curriculum and all the things that they teach within the school. We're more focused on what we're bringing in, but
from my experience, it's like it depends on the teacher, and the teachers come in and they're put into a district from wherever. So they might be from outside, and even there could be a Christian teacher in the Muslim area, right? And so but they're pretty relaxed here. Like people are pretty chill. So I think when you're coming in, they're excited that you're going to give them you're bringing something, an education to the kids a bit, and you're bringing something outside of them, and then doing the demo plots. So far it's been good. You haven't had any trouble with the ones you started in. Yeah. So maybe God's just helping us along with that.
Amen.
We haven't had opposition. Yeah. So
very good. And so how many children do you have?
we have 5 daughters.
5 daughters. Okay, wonderful.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
We had 7 children. We had 3 sons and 4 daughters. They're all grown up, married now, and 12 grandchildren so far.
Wow,
But,
amazing. That's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's children certainly are a blessing from the Lord, aren't they?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Our oldest is 13. She'll be 14 in March. And then our youngest is 3. So, oh, yeah.
So do they, are they in the school system or do you homeschool them or?
Yeah, I homeschool them. Yeah.
Ah.
I've been doing it on my own. And then now this year we have volunteers helping me. So that's been nice because,
Oh, that's,
yeah, I'm getting more of them in or doing school. Yeah. But in general, the public school here is quite rough. Like, doesn't have a lot of resources. So it would be like 100 kids on the floor in a room and they're just repeating. They don't have like resources or
Yeah.
desks. So it can be, yeah. So it's not really an option to go that way necessarily for
Yeah.
education wise.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you using for curriculum for your homeschooling? Just out of interest.
This year we're doing My Father's World is our like spine, and then we just have like the math is teaching textbooks and but that one kind of includes it all. The My Father's World, yeah.
Okay.
It has
Yeah.
language and all the different subjects in it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's great. Well, that's something we'll definitely be praying for too, for just the Lord's help in
Mhm,
raising and teaching your own children too, which is so important, isn't it?
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and mhm.
Our
Yeah.
daughter that we're staying with here in New Brunswick at the moment has 4 children, three girls and a boy, and they're homeschooling as well.
Okay, nice. That's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, cool. That's good. It's nice.
So where were you from in Canada?
Oh, we're from the GTA. Yeah.
Okay.
Leanna grew up in Georgetown. And then I was born in Toronto, but then we spent a lot of years in Orangeville. And
Okay.
then we moved into Brampton later. And then when we got married, we moved into Brampton, Mississauga kind of thing.
And we were kind of doing some move-in, kind of like we moved into a more higher immigrant area when we were first
Okay.
married, and that had like higher Muslim population. And when we were back again after the first time in Africa, we were also doing the same ministry, like kind of
Okay.
diaspora with Muslims in the GTA, because there's over 1 million Muslims in Toronto, so there's need there
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were
Mhm.
you linked
Now
up with Nigel?
sorry,
Yeah.
Were you okay?
Yeah, I lived with Nigel for a few months way in Toronto there at
Okay.
a certain point. So we
We were married.
with move in for a while. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Great. And then
you
and
are,
did you
you
know
are in
Sean?
Malawi right now. Huh?
Yeah, we're in Malawi right now.
We are, yeah.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
time is it there?
It's
It's
5.
it's 20 to 6.
Yeah, 20 to 6. So we'll have dinner after this. I already prepped it, so it's fine.
My youngest sister lives for part of the year in Morocco. And
Oh,
so
cool.
probably the same time zone, I guess.
Mhm.
Morocco's West Coast, so it would probably be, I think, at least 3 hour difference.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're 7 hours ahead of you guys, I think. Yeah. So
Okay.
when we video chat with our family, then we're always it's always towards the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Sean Cuthill and the Jesus Network? in
Yeah,
Toronto?
I haven't I haven't interacted with him much. I think I met him once or twice, but I know about him quite well. I think he meets at Arundel Bible Chapel, I think.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I taught Sean many years ago when I was teaching at Bible college. He came through, so he was one of my students when he was straight from high school. So.
Oh,
Wow,
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arendale's our home church, so it's always
Oh,
nice.
is it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So were you there when Ross Kearney was there?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ross was another one of my students that I taught. Actually, I had Ross as a very young teenager in my discipleship program out of Graphite
Wow.
Bible Camp.
Cool.
And
Mm.
Nice.
he came through what we called root camp. So it was kind of neat. We've had a long connection there with Ross. And I'm the director for Canada now for the Emmaus ministry. And Ross's mom was one of our associate instructors for many, many years. So yeah, a lot
Oh,
of
cool.
connections
That's
there.
nice. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
yeah, they were nice. And his wife's a nurse too. She was working. in the ER when we were there. Yeah, it was in Mississauga, and that's where we did the move in too when we were back. So it was nice to be part of the church there. Yeah.
Okay. Because you both look almost familiar. Like I think I may have met you or seen you somewhere along the line over the years too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you look a little familiar too. I wonder where did you teach?
Kawartha
Or where-
Lakes Bible College in
Oh, okay.
Peterborough.
Interesting. Yeah. I took a number of classes at
Heritage?
Heritage, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And Toronto Baptist Seminary.
And TBS, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Very
Okay,
good.
so guys, we know we need to let you go and have your supper with your children. But are there any specific prayer requests that we would consider over the next month for you, or?
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any in mind?
I was just gonna say just like perseverance.
Yeah, perseverance. You know,
Weary.
yeah, not growing weary. I think right now we're trying to add somebody to the team that can do more of the sort of admin for the different projects on an ongoing basis. David is getting a bit older, so he needs some young blood to help move around with him, or even independently of him. He's actually 65, so and he's zipping around on a motorbike. So I would love to get him a car, but we don't have that. We don't have that in the budget, but we need somebody that can sort of zip around on his behalf, and he can train and stuff like that. So that's like a very practical thing.
So hire someone, yeah, I guess local.
Yeah, and I think just with family, spending good time with family, that's our first priority here, and making sure that our kids are, doing well, and the family's doing well.
Pray for the kids as TCKs. It's a lot. And Sky's getting into the teenage years, I guess, too. So you're processing a lot.
Yeah.
Things, yeah.
So kids are changing all the time.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think just any prayer. Thank you. Yeah, we need all the prayers. Yeah. That God will work the seeds of the gospel in people's heart. There'd be a movement that, young guys would come to the Lord and have a transformation. That would be amazing if a church could start, but we're still just kind of planting the seeds, but it's like the before that stage, right? But that would be pretty cool too. We hope and pray for that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Have you seen any individuals that have really shown promise, like in the spiritual vein?
Yeah, there's a number of people who are just quite interested, and they have good questions, and so that's really the biggest signal,
Yeah.
So we just try to take those opportunities seriously.
Have good discussions. Yeah, it's a journey, like slowly.
Yeah.
We're willing, the veil will be lifted, and they.
Yeah. The Lord's the one that can lift that veil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thanks. It's nice to.
Yeah. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for being persistent. I know we've kind of gone back and forth. I don't go on Facebook almost ever. So I'm glad you WhatsApp me, and we got this going.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for meeting with us today. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to meet sometime in person, or at least we get to pray together. So that's nice. Yeah.
yes, amen.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Paul, you're muted.
Oh yeah, he's muted. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I just said, let us know when you're in Canada. We're a good 5 hours north of Mississauga, but yeah, from the GTA, 6 hours maybe. But yeah, we make the trip.
We should make. Well, his parents have a cottage near Perry Sound, so sometimes when we're back, if it's summer, then so maybe we could just make the extra journey. It's fun.
Yeah,
for sure. That'd be great.
There's probably better in Malawi right now than it is in the GTA.
Yeah, I know. At this time of year, we're always a bit grateful. We're always a little thankful because we get a little jealous, when it gets summer over in Canada and everybody's,
The Christmas season was a bit hard. It was our 5th Christmas away. It was hard to be away with all the Christmas stuff. So that now that's passed, because there's less Christmas here, right?
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So
yeah.
good. Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful.
God bless you.